Hi, my name is Natalie Frost and I'm an artist whose work highlights colour and pattern that I find in nature. This video will help you create a simple repeat pattern by making a wristband. By creating the repeat pattern, you'll be encouraged to practice skills like measuring and dividing, creating symmetry or a mirror image, and then duplicating, making lots of identical images and making a pattern out of those, organising them into a sequence or an order. First of all, you're going to need something to make your wristband out of. And I've got a selection of things here that you can use. This is some foam, some kind of craft foam that you can buy or you might have in your art kit. If not, we've got some alternatives. A bit of old cork tile here, or a bit of bendy lino. This is a bit of leather, a strip of leather that you could use, perhaps an old belt if you've got one ready to go to the charity shop, and also a piece of card. So any of these will do, and the width of them doesn't really matter. It's up to you how wide you'd like your wristband to be. You'll also need a few other things. So we've got a ruler and a tape measure, some pens to decorate, and a hole punch so that you can fix the finished wristband onto your wrist. And you'll be using just a piece of cord. This is a piece that I managed to find from an old pair of earplugs, but you can use string or wool, it's up to you. The first thing you want to do is to measure your wristband, and there's two ways of doing it. You can either measure around your wrist using the measuring tape, or you can do this by just guessing. It's not a guess, it's an educated guess. So you can use your wrist as the template and you wrap it round like this. You want it to be a little bit loose so that you don't cut off your blood circulation. It's a good idea to have a practice. I did a lot of practices of patterns beforehand, and what you'll need is a piece of card the same size or similar size to your band. And what you want to do is to measure the width of it and measure the length of it and cut yourself a square that's exactly the same size on all the way around. So this one will correspond to that, and that part of the square. Okay, this just saves us doing a lot of measurement with the ruler. Once you've got this, you're able to then measure off and draw a line to section up your slip of paper, and that'll give you a really good start for practicing your pattern. Now then, there's a number of patterns that we can make. You could make a pattern that's very similar to itself. So this one's somebody from another workshop made with squares, and although the squares are different colours, they're all the same shape. A little bit like this background. These are all black and white, I guess, eyes. So that's one motif within your pattern. Or you could make one with two motifs in your pattern. So this is another one, another practice piece that somebody made in a workshop, with hearts and diamond, heart, diamond, heart, diamond. Okay, so they're nice and simple and they're very easy to do. What I'm going to do just as a prompt for myself is draw the heart on one and the diamond on the other. And then once you've done that, you've got your prompt to remind you what you're doing. So I know that while I'm working on my final band, that I will be putting a heart first and then a diamond. I'll not colour these in for speed. And then another heart and then another diamond and so on. Once you've done that, you've got it really stuck in your head what you're doing, so you can start with your final band. I have marked this off using my square so that I have some pencil lines that have separated the band up into sections, and that's going to be really helpful when it comes to telling me where to put my motif. So I'm starting off with a heart. So there we go, heart on, and then I'm moving on to a diamond. And then I'm going to do another heart. You know the score now, I'm not going to show you the whole thing. Okay, and you work on that until you get right to the very end, and then you can do some extra decoration on it if you like. So there you have the finished decoration on the band. You can see I've gone around with a finer pen to try and make it look a bit fancier. And you can just add details that you've not put onto your template. Once you have made a very simple band, you can move on to make one that's a little bit more complicated. So I've got some examples here that might help you. This is one that has a mirror image on it. So if you look at it, I've started in the centre with a heart, and then we've got a snake on one side. And if it's a mirror image, there needs to be a snake the other way around on the other side. I've then got a nice big flowery rose here. And of course, because it's a mirror image, there's one on the other side here. And finally, a nice bumblebee on this side. And there will be one here when I finish it off. So that's the mirror image one, which is a little bit more complex. And then we've got a repeat pattern that's more complicated. It's the one that I've made the red band out of. So to do this one, I've not only cut myself a square, I've also cut myself a triangle that's half of the square and used that to create the pattern. What's useful for me is to have templates to draw around. So this one looks like sort of abstract ladybirds, but what I used was an old key to help me to get the images the same. The more similar they are, the better your pattern will look. Finally, this one is a real cheats version. It's using electrical tape and parcel tape to cover my piece of card. To finish off, we're going to take our bands that we've made and make holes in each end. So if you've made a paper one, you can use the hole punch. And then what you want to do is to thread your piece of cord through the two holes. And if I pull this tightly, you'll see that will come back round and you can join it together with a knot. You might need somebody to help you with the knot there. Okay, so there you have it, some finished and fitted wristbands. Hope yours went well.